Of course, there should be reservation, but surely not for children from rich SC, ST parents. They grew up with as much privilege as we did.
And I kind of understand where the sentiment is coming from, and I partly agree with that too. You know, but that's not the question for the Savarnas to worry about. If they're almost like all of a sudden they are benevolent. Oh, we want to give reservations to poor Dalit. I mean, if you're so concerned about that, then there's very much more. I can give you extra work if you're really interested in doing some work. There's always been a debate within the Dalit community about this. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a data. I can tell you anecdotally as to how many of personally my friends who are doing well off have never availed of or sent their children to reservation. And these are mostly people living in posh quarters and have a life that they say I'm sending my child to a good private school, and I don't want my child to and also there is a sense of I don't want my child to feel that he is any way lower, because this kind of carrying a reservation is not just getting a foot in. It's also like being responsible for something you have not done, being judged by the metrics that someone else placed on. So it's more tension, and many reservation students don't claim their caste unless they are really Ambedkarites. Many prefer to stay mum, and at MIT, there was a Rajasthani Dalit, smart boy doing excellent research, like phenomenal, but he would very have this kind of a, because it was injected in him. So, about having said that, reservation is meant to provide representation so that there is an equal representation in that classroom. How would you like, Krishna, for example, you sit in a class, went to Brahmin school, graduated, went to engineering school, also Brahmins, graduated. Then went to job, also Brahmin. I mean, you're not learning anything new. You're most likely having the stale black and white experience. How about add more colors? Let's rub shoulders. Classroom is probably the only space in India that has the potential to challenge caste. Because people from across caste can sit same table. Of course, the ranking might now play, but that's an opportunity for us to now know each other, talk to each other, share our experiences. But again, there we have North India, South India divide.
Yeah.
The kind of discrimination North Indians impose on South Indians for their color, and we all have that kind of a very crude epithets used. In spite of that, the conduit of rich Dalits should not get. To my personal knowledge, now I don't have data to support because there is no research on that, as to how many second generation or third generation affluent Dalit children have availed of reservation. Even if they did, I think they actually helped the government from demonstrating its failures, because if there is no SC ST, that means government is not doing enough. That's why there is a quota. That's why there is that's why it's meant for different caste communities to share. And if you are representing, what you're effectively doing is you're actually strengthening the quorum of the class. You're actually providing much more liberty to our thinking. And final point, the rich SC ST kind of discussion that always takes place. It's not the class rich SC ST, it's the caste rich SC ST. That's a very fundamental difference we have to understand. People are not worried about them being rich and all. These are what? First generation, second generation rich people. What do you mean by rich? What do you compare it with? Oh, because they have a government and a service. If the government service goes, what do they have? They have no land. They have no enormous savings, and that's the only job they have. And because they are in job, they get the government facilities. That's all they do. They have nothing else to fall back on. So let us also remove the myth of this rich SC ST, or because what happens once you lose a job? Where you gonna fall back on? So there is a clear view of examining this topic, and I think especially students who go to colleges and schools and universities should be able to do this more creatively than just shifting the blame on something of their own incapacities.